Welcome into the Commanders Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today we have some breaking news here. It's actually my anniversary. I'm in my anniversary breakfast with Cassie, but we have breaking news here. Brian Robinson Jr. Has been traded to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a 2026 sixth-round pick. Today I'm going to be breaking down my initial thoughts here on this breaking news trade action for you guys. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Apologies for the kind of makeshift video here, as well as any noise that you hear in the background in a public place. So just bear with me here, guys. But big news here for the Washington Commanders. Of course, we knew Brian Robinson Jr. was either going to get cut or traded before the start of the season. And now we hear for sure here that he's going to be heading to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a sixth-round pick. Overall, I think it's a good trade for the Washington Commanders here, guys. It's better than getting nothing for him, right? You believe in Bill Krosky-Merritt. You believe in Chris Rodriguez Jr. We'll talk about those guys here in just a second, as well as Austin Ekeler. But, Brian Robinson Jr., kind of a mid-level, maybe slightly below average starting running back. Somebody that really fits what San Francisco needs right now. So it really makes sense why they were the team that ended up getting him. Of course, Adam Peters and John Lynch, the two GMs for both teams, very close with each other, former working relationship together in San Francisco. They've already made a trade this offseason with Deebo Samuel. So it just kind of makes sense here that connection got this deal done. Brian Robinson Jr. very much fits what they want to do there in San Francisco. Very similar skill set to what Jordan Mason gave to that team last year when Christian McCaffrey went down with an injury. Mason ended up going to the Minnesota Vikings. So to get a guy like Brian Robinson Jr., who is a capable starter in the event of a CMAC injury, makes a lot of sense for them. And it sounded like there were multiple suitors. It was reported that the Miami Dolphins were also in on Brian Robinson Jr., as well as the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys. So the fact here that, he heads to San Francisco, they got the deal done here for a sixth-round pick. And in terms of the compensation, guys, I do think it was a good move for the Washington Commanders here. It certainly beats getting nothing for them. Obviously with the trades for Deebo Samuel and for Laramie Tunsil, you didn't have a ton of draft capital heading into next year's draft. So to get an extra draft pick on day 3, get an extra dart throw for somebody that wasn't going to be on the roster regardless is a good move for the Washington Commanders. Then when you take a look at Bill Krosky-Merritt and Chris Rodriguez Jr., the two younger running backs that are going to be taking a larger role here in Washington moving forward, it just makes a lot of sense here why they ended up moving on from Brian Robinson Jr. Obviously B-Rob was in the final year of his contract. He probably wasn't going to get another deal here. He wasn't having a phenomenal camp, and honestly, he was getting outplayed by Chris Rodriguez Jr. and Bill Krosky-Merritt, two guys that this Commanders team really do believe in. Of course, you still have Austin Ekeler as a really good third down back, receiving back. He's going to help out, obviously, on special teams as well as a kickoff return man. So, it just makes sense for both sides here. I think both sides got what they wanted out of the deal. San Francisco gets a good number 2 running back and somebody that can fill in as the number 1 guy if Christian McCaffrey gets injured, which is definitely a possibility at this point in his NFL journey, being close to 30 years old. And then for the Commanders, you have your running back room that you like: Bill Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez Jr., Austin Ekeler, and I'm guessing they probably keep Jeremy McNichols on the roster as well to keep 4 running backs heading into the season. And I really think, guys, that Bill Krosky-Merritt, with what he has shown this offseason and during the preseason, has a chance to really be a really good number 1 running back for this team for a long time, pairing up with Jaden Daniels, who elevates your running game, inherently because of his ability to run the football. But then you've got, Bill Krosky-Merritt, who's got that explosive cutting ability. He's got really good speed. He's got good size and good power to be able to lower the shoulder. He's got all the physical capabilities here, guys, to be a legitimate number 1 running back in the league. And apparently he's shown enough here, and Chris Rodriguez Jr. has shown enough here during the preseason and during training camp for this team to feel comfortable trading away the person that was slated to be their number 1 running back this year in Brian Robinson Jr. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this running back room is going to be able to do this year. It certainly puts a lot of pressure on Bill Krosky-Merritt and Chris Rodriguez Jr. to be able to perform right away this season. And, obviously we haven't seen Chris, play such a big role in his previous seasons here with the Commanders. He's kind of been more of a running back 4, type of option for this team in the past, but he's had a really good camp. And of course, the UDFA, or the 7th round pick, I should say, out of Arizona, Bill Krosky-Merritt, has been, one of the stars of Commanders training camp to this point. So I'm excited to see what this offense is going to look like. And when you take a look at this entirety of the talent that has been assembled here in Washington, Jaden Daniels, obviously somebody that can elevate your team as a passer and as a rusher as well. Obviously, that's going to be something that takes the attention of a lot of opposing defenses. Then you've got, hopefully, Terry McLaurin's deal can get done here over the next week or so before the start of the season and before the season opener versus the New York Football Giants. And then you got Deebo Samuel as that gadget piece that can go out on orbit motions and go out on jet sweeps. We saw that in the preseason game on Monday. Deebo's ability to run the football is certainly going to be a value to this team as well. Also, you got some good tight ends. You've got Zach Ertz. You've got John Bates, who's a terrific blocker. You've got Jalen Lane, who's been looking good throughout training camp in the preseason as well. Noah Brown, hopefully he can get back from injury here pretty soon. And then you add in this very talented running back room here, guys, that I think is pretty much going under the radar here heading into the season, because you've got Bill Krosky-Merritt, who is a 7th round pick. Not a lot of people know his name, but I mean, he has just been an absolute stud in training camp to this point, and he's a big reason why this team feels comfortable letting go of Brian Robinson Jr. at this point. And then when you add on Chris Rodriguez Jr., who's a solid back in his own right, Austin Ekeler, who we know can be an impact as a pass-catching running back as well. And then you have Jeremy McNichols, who has been one of the better backup depth running backs in the league for a very long time. I think we're looking at an offense here that is led by Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive play caller, as one that's once again going to be at least a top 10 unit, maybe even top 5 yet again here this year, and put this team in contention here to maybe make a run once we get into the playoffs once again. Of course, after making the NFC Championship game last year. And then, of course, you put that together with a defense that's been looking a lot better during this preseason. The defensive line has been awesome. The secondary has been revamped. Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mike Sainristil, all those guys. I'm really excited. Excuse my camera work here, guys. I'm just holding my phone. But, definitely excited for the future of this football team, guys. Think it's a trade that works for both sides. I think San Francisco got what they wanted. I think Washington certainly got what they wanted out of this deal. Also kind of happy they didn't send B-Rob to the Dallas Cowboys. Don't want to help those guys out. So at the end of the day here, guys, I think good trade for the Washington Commanders. Looking forward to seeing what this new and hopefully improved running back room here can do here in Washington this year. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching this breaking news breakdown here on the Commanders Report. If we get more news, say on Terry McLaurin later, we'll have another breaking news video for you guys tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow is our break is going to be our live watch party for Commanders versus Ravens, the final preseason game of the year. That's going to start at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button and join us tomorrow for our next Commanders Report live show.